The time having arrived, Gary's son Rob having attained the age of automotive responsibility, satisfying the vision and written examination requirements, receiving a state-issued learner's permit, the youth excited with the prospects. Gary recalling at that age, his father insistence the 1940 Chevrolet pickup's double-clutching non-synchronized 4-speed transmission be the endeavor to acquire his first driving experience. Gary's dad, a teamster by trade, able to drive everything from a World War II Army M4 tank, to a 500 series Caterpillar road scraper. Always emphasizing the use of the clutch as the most important exchange to extradite the performance of opportunity. Gary insisting Robert's first learning experience would be in the 5-speed manual shifting 4-wheel drive Toyota Tercel wagon. Robert having no difficulty with the shifting of gears, acquiring an immediate dexterity after 2 driving sequences. Dad allowing his son the helm of the Chevrolet Blazer Sport, also being a manual shift. Robert finding a natural comfort behind the wheel of motorized transportation. The endeavor was Rob's orthodontist appointment on North Rock Road in Wichita, fulfilling his scheduled 6th-month checkup, wearing a correctional appliance retainer. The father and son seated in the Blazer, only this time Gary sitting in the passenger's seat, imparting the driving to Rob. Dad having total confidence, sitting back watching as Rob nonchalantly started the Blazer, displaying a "I've done this before" deposition, ready to incur the 54-mile drive. Departing Anthony on the hour-long journey to Wichita, the Blazer turning east on West Kellogg, the main thoroughfare through the city. Gary keeping a watchful eye because of the Saturday traffic, Rob progressing across town, his dad impressed with his driving performance, the two arriving. The appointment task completed, Gary opting to drive back, Rob's first long-distance drive a success. The only somewhat negative response was from his mother, who apparently wouldn't have entrusted him to make the drive. Gary's day at the Kiowa hospital started like most, fulfilling his normal routine when approached by a fellow Apostolic Christian Church brother, and close family friend, Huber Farney. The Farneys, a Kansas wheat farming family under the craftsmanship of Huber's son Tom, farmed sections of acreage spreading across the state line into Oklahoma. The elder Farney disclosing, Gary's son Robert, whom Tom had employed for a summer job, had endured an accident with the Blazer. The accident occurring near the state line on the Burlington Road, Huber firmly emphasizing, Robert wasn't injured. Gary questioning Huber about the damage, his elderly friend hesitant about providing any information, only conveying that Gary needed to avail himself to the scene. The weather not being congruous, a very cogent thunderstorm blanketing Kiowa and the surrounding area. Gary immediately giving notice at the hospital, he was leaving to inquire about his son's dilemma. The wind-driven rain was coming down in torrents, the lightning discharging from the towering cumulus, the thunder resonating with an earth-shaking sound. Gary arriving at the scene finding the Blazer off the road, upright, but the driver's side rear roof line was slightly bent. It was apparent the car had been laid over on its side, sliding during its venture off the road before uprighting itself. The left rear wheel having been literally ripped from the axle. But although bent at an angle, the rear window frame and glass remained intact. Approaching his son, who was seated in the inert vehicle, the deluge of rain still persisting, Gary joining him in the front seat. Rob was shaken, almost to the point of tears, but holding his composure. Gary assuring him that his only concern was that he wasn't injured, the damage to the car was of no immediate importance, circumstances happen. The inevitable question had to be asked, what happened? Rob slowly replying, he really didn't know, It all happened so fast, only that it started to rain, and suddenly the Blazer was sideways in the curve, then an impact and a silence. The vehicle coming to rest. Surveying the situation amidst the downpour. Noticing how close his son had come to hitting the cement pillar that marked the boundary between Oklahoma and Kansas. Thanking the Lord for what could have been a desolating experience. Gary entreating Hubert to return to Kiowa and inform Keith Rathgeber at D&W Auto of the incident, and ask him if he could retrieve the Blazer with his tow truck. Gary visiting with his son, discovering the Oklahoma Highway Patrol had been on the scene before his arrival. Writing Robert a citation for honesty, asking him if he was wearing a seat belt. The young driver answering truthfully, no. The Blazer finding a new home for the next 6 weeks at D&W. The extensive repairs a low priority on the shop's schedule. Scott Rathgeber giving assurance he could rent the top back to its normal position providing the window glass remained intact, something Gary thought impossible. The torquing of the roof post back to a straight vertical position was a success, a new rear left axle, wheel, and brakes fulfilling the remaining damaged parts, and with touch-up paint. A total cost of $1,300 put the Blazer on the road. Robert once again able to host his grandfather's gift. The Blazer briefly down, but not out.